Hello, Fantastic Fest!
Hello!
I'm so excited to introduce the secret screening that you guys are about to see. Oh no.
Theaters tomorrow.
I'm here with a celebrity. And then I'd also like to introduce two other celebrities. Oh, wait. Still talking. I'd also like to... I can do this. Okay, I'd also like to introduce two other celebrities attached to this movie. The two men that have been here since the very beginning. I'd like to introduce Mark Burg and Oren Koules, producers of the entire Saw franchise.
Hello, thank you for coming. I really want to thank Jenny and Fantastic Fest for having Saw X.
They got up. I don't know if they're coming back.
We do movies, we don't do anything, we just open them, and this is the first audience.
I know this is a surprise. I hope you guys are
Pleasantly surprised.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are in for a treat. We love the movie, we're proud of it, we think it's the best Saw movie we've made.
Anyone that's watched the old Saw movies, we used to have Lionsgate had a moving logo that was gears, and it really made us think of genre. So we were actually in post on the movie, and a young man suggested to his family that we change, instead of the new Lionsgate Fruit logo, an old school genre logo. So I need to see, I understand he's here tonight, I've never met him. Cooper Stevenson, are you here? Oh,
Wow, all right. Well, he's the reason we had this
Cooper,
logo.
I'm going to find you after the movie. Thank you so much. All of us, none of us thought to put the cool logo in front of our movie. You did, so thank you very much.
And the last thing is, stay for the credits, you're in for a surprise.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the movie. Please enjoy it.
Here's Superman shows up.
Oh, yes. You might see that you have little masks. You should all wear them because we're about to take a really spiffy photo. And please stand up.
Wait, 1 second. Cooper, come here.
Yeah!
14-year-old fan of our films. His mom works at Lionsgate. Her father does a lot of extra work, like not even extra, EPKs and footage. Anyway, we all got the idea from him, and we felt so stupid. We got yelled at because we'd already locked the film. We had to open it back up, change the sound, change everything. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, keep running.
Jenny, and then we're going to just Billy to come and join us. I'll take your mics for you. Everyone, please stand up for us with your mask. We would love that. Thank you so much. Jack, our photographer, is going to come and help us out with this photo. Do you want this, Jack, or anything I can do? Okay, he would like to.
I'm going to stand up.
Stand up. And then let them know where he is. Can Billy back up just a little?
Just give us some space so we can back up.
And let him go in between you a little. There you go. Perfect.
All right, you got the masks on, all right? I want y'all to just,
Yeah, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, Fantastic Fest. 1, 2, 3, Fantastic Fest.
Saw Patrol.
Saw.
Socks.
Everybody, one more room.
1, 2, 3, Jack.
Good. Great, awesome. Thank you. Perfect, thank you. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much. So excited for you to literally.
Please stick around for the Q&A. Jenny's back.
Hello, you all. I'd like to play a game. Actually, I'd like to do a Q&A. It's a little bit more chill. I would like to bring to the stage Mark and Oren.
Thank you.
Let's kind of move to... Let's bring our buddy.
Part of the family.
Little shoes. All right, everyone. So I wanted to start out this Q&A asking a question about what made you both decide, or like your team decide, to put Saw X in between 1 and 2, because it's a big decision. The timeline is kind of a crazy timeline in the series. So what made you want to get to that point and back in the middle of those movies?
Well, we had to do it early on because we wanted Tobin in the movie as much as possible. And he dies in Saw 3.
Spoiler.
Note to self, if you're ever doing a horror film, don't kill your lead. So it had to be pre-Saw 3, and we wanted Shawnee Smith in it. And we wanted her and Tobin to still have a good relationship, so it kind of had to be between Saw 1 and Saw 2.
One of the coolest things I think that the Saw series does is they kind of all are very timely. This first Saw is a post 9/11 movie. I love that Saw 6 also is kind of about universal health care and kind of taking down that system. And this one, I feel, sort of as a woman, there's a lot of, especially in Texas, there's a lot of fear about going to other places to potentially have surgeries. And I was wondering if that was something that kind of influenced the ideas for this film and kind of the setting and tone.
I think that people, the FDA is so strong in our country, and obviously state laws, and so you want to make sure there's so much experimental surgeries in different countries. And so at first we thought about maybe putting the movie, setting it in Eastern Europe, and we just kind of felt that Mexico City was the right place for it. But we really, having a medical procedure like that, you can't do that in the United States. Even if it was legitimate. You always hear of athletes going to Germany to get platelets and things like that done, and so we picked Mexico City.
I wanted to open up for audience question. Oh wow, someone in the back immediately.
How do you keep the timeline straight? Do you have a Saw timeline Bible or what?
So the question for the other theaters is, how do you keep the timeline straight? The timeline is incredibly difficult. Do you have a Saw Bible?
Yes, we do. We have a kind of just long-running history of Saw and what movies take place when, back and forth. And there's Oren, myself.
You guys, wait, I gotta stop. You guys ever see Beautiful Mind? You remember he's doing all that? That's about what we're like. Okay, so to be honest, it's not nearly as organized as he says, and we forget things all the time. We're like, so we all get together in the room and we're talking, almost you're like, yeah, we can't do that. And truthfully, it's like Beautiful Mind.
Correct. We just get lucky every now and then. But there's a partner of ours, Dan Hefner, who kind of keeps the Saw Bible in check.
And Kevin Greutert,
And our editor-director, Kevin.
Kevin has seen every foot of footage since Saw 1. So he's either edited or directed every single movie. So there's no better expert in trying to thread the needle. In fact, when we were, kind of a mistake we're making, we'll admit to you guys, when we started this process of this film, we really thought it was kind of between 2 and 3, and Kevin really sat us down and explained how Shawnee was starting to change during 3.
Just reminded me of a question that's been burning at me. Are we ever going to see the story of Hoffman, Gordon, and the other apprentice from Jigsaw continued?
All right, so question for the other theaters. Are we ever going to see the stories of the other apprentices in further films due to the post-credit scene?
Oren and myself are superstitious, so we never talk about another movie until this movie opens. But should this movie open well, and should Lionsgate want to make another one, that's exactly where we're going with the next one.
But you know what? Also, in the Hoffman, one of the things that we've read a lot about, and that Jigsaw always seems so far ahead of everybody. So one of the tricks in this movie we wanted to show is that he'd been dealing with Detective Hoffman for a long time. So when he's ahead of everybody and knows things that people are doing, we tried as a little whatever nugget for the fans to realize that he's been talking to Detective Hoffman a lot earlier than we previously saw him in a movie. So,
Thank you.
thanks, man.
And because this film seems to be getting such a good reception, a bunch of the other actors that have been in Saw movies after this have all already called saying, well, why can't we be in a Saw movie? So the good news is we think we'll be able to bring everybody back that have been in future
Most
movies.
You right there?
I did want to know, because you said that Mexico just felt right. I do want to know what made Mexico feel right for the setting of this film, and also why the main doctor is from Europe, but then everybody she works with is Mexican. Why did they make that choice?
So
Let me repeat the question really quick. So the question was, why did that location specifically feel right? But also on top of that, why was the main doctor Eastern European, but then there was also a lot more Mexican people involved in the film?
So I'll answer the second question first. The reason, the thought process is that she's being chased by people, the Interpol and different things are trying to find her with her experimental procedures, and so she would basically go with her and Stephen Brand and go to different cities and hire people to do it, if it was legitimate. The reason we went to Mexico City's got such a cool vibe. It has a little bit of mysticism to it. I don't know, it just felt right. We have an amazing Latin audience for our movies. They've been massive supporters of us and the franchise for the last 19 years. And it's the first time we've ever said where we are. We've never said anywhere. It's a little Gotham, I don't mean it that, but it's Gotham City. We've never said when we are, where we are. And we just kind of thought it would be cool for the fans to say, hey, we're in Mexico City, this is where we are, and we're having fun.
And we loved working there, by the way. Mexico City was great. They opened their arms to us. The crew was great. The local actors we thought were absolutely wonderful.
And the food's amazing. Great food scene.
And I think Lionsgate did a giant study on Saw, and about a third of our audience is Latin.
Worldwide. So.
Is that another question over there? Yes.
Right? Yeah, so I was wondering, with John watching his pre-recorded brain surgery from a DVD or VHS, was that sort of like a foreshadowing for Saw 2, where everything is pre-recorded and that's the twist? That kind of where he got the idea for it, or is that just kind of unintentional?
Do you get the question?
Sort of. Can you repeat it again, though?
Yeah, so when John realizes his brain surgery was kind of pre-recorded from another DVD or VHS, is that a connection to Saw 2, where the whole game was pre-recorded as well?
Okay. When the pre-recording happens, where John realizes that his brain surgery was pre-recorded, is that kind of a almost micro Easter egg about Saw 2 being pre-recorded and having the detectives figure that out later and that being the twist?
No, I would love to tell you that we thought that far in advance. No, the truth is that, he has brain cancer. He sent all his scans for what he died from in Saw 3. He sent his scans to Cecilia, and so she knew where the operation should be. But him seeing it was just another tip-off that it was, when he started playing all these little, listen, he doesn't want to believe it's fake. He's probably got 4 or 5 little tip-offs or whatever that it might be fake, or this might not be real, but you don't want to believe it. I mean, he's there trying to lengthen his life. And he's there in hope and he's there in prayer. So he's there. So, but eventually he had to face facts. And so I guess a long way to say is, no, we were not that smart.
I do have another
Wish
question.
we were, by the way. That sounds great.
Exactly.
I did kind of want to ask, I know we're talking a lot about this film in particular, but you guys, you've been here through the entire series of this film. What about this, the first film, the script, kind of drew you into the project and working on it for like over a decade, like 2 decades nearly?
Well, I just have this, it's a question back, and obviously very biased, but it's probably one of the best endings to a movie at that point, Mark and I had ever read. We got the short, we read the short.
Watch the short,
I'm sorry, and then read the script. And it was one of those scripts, the short was so good that I was literally every page said, please be good, please be good, please be good. And it was incredible. And then we got to the end, it just so.
But the quick backstory is Oren and myself made a movie before Saw called John Q with Denzel Washington. And we loved the movie. We thought it was a hit. And New Line told us how, we made the movie for $28 million. It grossed 100, and they lost 30-something million on the movie. 48 million. So we decided if we were ever going to do another movie, we were going to make a movie for $1 million, own it, control it, and do it our way. And that's when Saw fell into our lap. And we were planning on making a bunch of lower budget movies.
And still pursue studio movies, and then we got 2.5 Men, but we just wanted to have our own little library of things we loved, great ideas, great young filmmakers, and we got lucky, and the first one we did was Saw. So.
And we started filming Saw September 22nd, 2003.
Last Friday was our first day of principal photography. Today we our producer sent us our call sheet from day one.
So it's been 20 years that you guys have all been supporting Saw, so thank you. When people stop watching it, we'll stop making them.
I think I saw one more question that was over here, or was I crazy? Oh, that one, you already asked a question, so I'll go to you.
Okay, so one thing I really liked about this movie was kind of just how much of a throwback it was to some of the older Saw films compared to some of the previous ones like Spiral and Jigsaw. What was the leading factor that led you to go back more and back to the roots of Saw 1 and Saw 2 for this film?
You guys, the fans.
So
we don't test our movies.
Oh, the question was after Jigsaw and Spiral, what made you want to go back to the OGs?
The fans. I mean, we read Reddit, we read everything we can get our hands on because we don't test movies. So we only have post-movie analysis really, and it just seemed like people really wanted the old sound, the old colors. Charlie Clouser, who's our composer, pulled all his stems or little pieces of sounds from Saw 1, 2, and 3. Kevin Greutert, who directed it, edited Saw 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And he knew what colors, we even though we shot this digitally, we used lenses to make it look like it was Saw 1 and 2, so even our processes. So we just listened to the fans. Simple as that.
Can I say one other thing? There's somebody in the stands who's been with us here since the very, very beginning. Jason Constantine, I know you're there somewhere. And literally, Jason's been the executive producer. He's an executive at Lionsgate. And I don't know any other producer that's only had to deal with one person at a studio for 20 years.
Yeah, we're
very,
very
lucky to have him, and we're lucky that he was on this movie and on the first 9. So thank you for all your help.
Great. I have time, I think, for one more question. Is there any back in the middle?
Can you just talk to the decision to leave? It seemed like Celine survives at the end, right? The main person who sort of seems to be the worst person in this survives at the end. Can you talk about the decision to let her get through that? And also, if that's something, I know somebody talked about if you touch on stuff in the future, but is that something that you would touch on in the future?
The question is, why does Celine survive? Do you have plans for her in the future?
Yeah.
Cecilia, sorry.
We kept her alive, so there is a place to go. We have Detective Hoffman coming back. We have 2 other actors that want to come back, and they need a villain to go after.
It's kind of what I touched on a minute ago, is you don't really know how fans will react to characters, we've been surprised a bunch of times where we just absolutely fall in love with someone shooting, and it's kind of fallen flat after it's released. So we made the decision, we really like her character, we think she's a great foil for Tobin, so we'll see what happens. But yes, it was actually a conscious decision to keep her alive.
So one last thing, we love this movie, but as much as we love this movie, we love the ad campaign and the marketing that Lionsgate has done, and they're all over here. These are the people that have kind of been creating the campaign, and I don't think we'd be here because we made 9, let's be honest, we made 9 previous Saw movies and never came to Fantastic Fest. So without them and Jenny here, thank you guys for all that.
Thank you.
I have 2 quick ads. One, but you both have been to Fantastic Fest before with Repo the Genetic Opera.
Yes.
That was an 08
Yes.
movie.
Yeah, that's
Darren Bosman.
Darren Bosman.
See Darren tomorrow. Actually, Darren's bringing his mother to Saw X tomorrow. Seriously.
Incredible.
Just so you know, all of our actors, Max Minghella from Spiral, Patrick Melton, who wrote 5, 6, 7.
Patrick
They've all been griping to us about how good our campaign is. They're like, wow, we're seeing it everywhere. Wow. So, again, thank you very much to Lionsgate.
And the backstory is, just to that, we wanted Darren to direct Saw 5, and Saw 4. He did 2 and 3, didn't want to do 4, and we agreed to finance Repo if he agreed to direct Saw 4. So that was the trade-off.
Yeah, and it's funny because Repo, when people first came out, people didn't quite get it, and people stop us all the time now going, I love Repo, and I'm like, where were you when it was in the theaters? But people really like Repo, and it's kind of caught kind of cultish thing, and we love the film, but it's when it came out, it fell on deaf ears.
It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. It's very fun. Paris Hilton's in it. I have one housekeeping thing. There are free Saw-themed drinks in the highball at the Saw party. So
Free drinks.
Please enjoy those. And thank you all for coming out to Saw X.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.